I'd like to share an amazing message from this week's portion. The Torah tells us in Seitzei, don't reject an Egyptian. What does it mean, don't reject an Egyptian? And the law is the following. When someone converts to Judaism, and they convert according to halacha, according to Jewish law, then that person is allowed to marry a Jew or a Jewess, and everything's fine. However, there are certain nations where the Torah tells us that even if a descendant of that nation converts, they're not allowed to marry a Jew or a Jewess. Those are the nations of Ammon and Moab, and the Torah in this week's portion explains why. But the Torah says a descendant of the original Egyptians don't reject them. Don't reject them. After 3 generations, they can marry. If they convert according to Jewish law, they can marry into the Jewish people. Accept them. Why should we reject them? And why should we accept them? I'll tell you why we should reject them. Because the Egyptians were horrible to us. They were terrible to us. They tortured us. They threw our boys into the Nile River. We were tormented for 2 centuries, enslaved. Rashi explains that, yes, they were cruel to us, but the Torah is reminding us that in the early years they were kind to us. Our forefather Jacob found refuge in Egypt. When he came down to Egypt with a family of 70, a small family of 70, Pharaoh opened the doors and told Jacob, whatever you wish in Egypt is yours. Pharaoh gave them a city, their own city, metropolis city, a city of Goshen. And there, what happened there in Goshen? That we changed from a family of 70 to a mighty nation of millions. This went on for a very, very long time before we were enslaved. So the Torah is telling us, don't forget the kindness. Don't forget the kindness, but they were so evil to us. Rabbi Avram Pam explains that a small amount of kindness is not nullified by a large amount of evil. Using that concept, the laws of nullification, I'd like to make an application, to suggest an application. In the laws of kosher, there's such a thing as nullification. You have a large vat of soup, of kosher soup, and a liquid that's non-kosher falls into it. If there's more than 60 times the kosher to the non-kosher liquid that fell in there, it's nullified, and the whole pot is kosher. There's such a thing in the laws of kosher as nullification. But there are certain times, even in certain foods, that even in the laws of kosher, there's no nullification. For example, when you're making cheese, and if you're using a renative, a coagulant that is not kosher, you can have a large vat of a kosher dairy product, and you throw in a small amount of coagulant, and then it is not nullified, and the whole vat is not kosher. Why? Because the coagulant is called a dover hama'amid. It's something that creates standing. It impacts and affects the entire vat. Ma'amid means it stands. Something that causes the whole thing to stand, that is not nullified. Chesed, kindness, is a dover hama'amid. The Torah, in Psalms, King David says, Olam chesed yiboneh. The world is built on kindness. And olam also means nitzchius. Olam also means forever. Kindness lasts forever. So a small act of kindness is never nullified. What a powerful lesson for us. Oy, if we understood this. our relationships would be so much better. It's so tragic when friends who have been friends for many years, and then somebody does something wrong, and then it's it's friendship. It's all out, and even in a marriage, in all kinds of relationships. If we understood and realized this concept of the beauty of even a small amount of kindness, then that would inspire us, and there would be an impetus for us to really solidify and beautify our relationships. But another message here for our own selves, that every act of kindness that we perform, a smile, and a small act of kindness, anything that we do to help the other person better, feel better, do better, act better, live better, anything stands forever. It's eternal. Nothing in the world can ever nullify even the smallest act of kindness that we perform. Let us remember that in our relationships and with others, even if they wrong us. And let us remember that in everything that we do every single day of our lives, to live lives of kindness, because Olam Chesed Yiboneh, a small amount of kindness, is eternal and never nullified. Have a fabulous Shabbos.